I told y'all it's about to happen. I explained in detail. I've given you plenty of time, plenty of warning. Black man, black woman, black community in general, the world in general. Y'all about to witness the greatest black renaissance of all time, baby. Listen, we got the potential to do some really amazing things because the changing the thinking of black people is evolving, and I'm here for it. And I couldn't figure out if I wanted to start with Cam Newton, if I wanted to start with Big Sean, I want to start with Tyrese. I put four names there. I got Big Sean, Tyrese, Nick Cannon, and Cam Newton. But you know who else I got, right? Do you know? Do you? It's the six path commandments. Six path dice here. Mr. Lane, if you need me, before I get to cooking, make sure I'm on the right mic. Pause. All right, we on the good mic. What's good, good Mike? Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for asking. So, uh, going through a super stressful time, and I have been just beat and not having the energy at all. But like I said before, failure is not an option. With whatever you do, you got to do it on the days when you don't want to do it. Whatever your purpose is, it has to become a part of the routine. You understand? So here I am, giving y'all some product, giving y'all some fire in terms of this content. You know what I mean? But these gentlemen are showing black men how to be free. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with Nick Cannon. Now, in no way, shape, or form, I think this is the issue. This is what people are not liking. These men aren't trying to create a lifestyle or trying to be perfect or trying to have a storybook storyline where everything works out perfectly, right? And I've been watching Angry Man's break down this whole thing, and he keeps kind of bringing morality into it, right? Morality is very useful and it can be a good thing. But people like to operate under the assumption that men have to operate under morality, meaning with everything I do, I'm trying to do what's best for the greater good for the group. But also I'm going to do things that look good in terms of society and other people and things of that sort. All right, that's what I mean by morality. But here's the thing about morality. What do you do? And I was asked this question. What do you do when someone's saying fuck morality? I'm not doing it. I don't want to. There's always that possibility. And one thing about men, because men have gotten better. One thing about men getting better is that we've developed our morality to a point where we don't understand when other people don't have it about them. And that's one of the reasons why men get taken for the okie doke. That's why that's the way in which women actually outsmart men. They do it on a social level because men do not socialize as much. All right, and also men do not relate to manipulation as much. And I speak on this because so many black men, it's just normal. It's just a normal thing to meet other black men who have had almost nothing but a pretty much either a negative experience they made the most of or just a straight up negative experience, period. And that's all they can expect in a relationship is this person who will work day and night and fight tooth and nail against the progress of the relationship. And a lot of that stuff comes from not finishing your incubation. When you are developing from a child to a teenager to an adult, that is a delicate process. And if you're not incubated properly, you know what I mean? If you're not grown properly, and raised properly, you first of all, you're gonna spend the rest of your life chasing that after lost time, meaning that you're gonna always have this thing where you find things to hold on to. You find grudges to hold. When all that stuff is really just to distract from yourself and doing the work. Let me tell you something. Whenever it's something different if you guys are having a disagreement. and you're having a conversation that maybe gets a little bit heated versus you're calm and the other person just start coming for your neck. They're not doing that to be nice. But when we deal with people like that, we'll let how highly we think of them keep us from having a realistic idea or realistic perception of what they're doing. That's how a family member or a friend or whoever could be hating on you. And you won't look at it as that because you're trying to be optimistic or give them the benefit of the doubt, which is normal. Congratulations, you're normal. But it's not good for a relationship because when we have these kind of adversarial relationships, these kind of relationships where someone's trying to basically bring you into a fucked up deal. In so many words, someone who moved like Matilda's dad. If you read the story of Matilda, I had this bar from the other day. If you read the story of Matilda, or at least I didn't read, I think I read the story, but I did read. I read that, and I watched the movie. In the movie, right, her father is a used car salesman. All right, super unhealthy guy. All right, and basically he sells faulty cars, and he makes no effort to sell good cars at all. He actually was showing her how he can dial back the odometer to make it says it has less miles than it actually does. Right? It was some other stuff that he was doing, super shady stuff. But women, when it comes to making a deal, if a relationship is making a deal, that's how they're coming. But men won't really realize that this is even going on because again, like you're not thinking that, yo, this is a fucked up deal. And it doesn't really just stop there. It also bleeds into black men's everyday interactions. And there's so many different things that black men do that other races of men and other types of black men don't do. I don't think we think for ourselves as much as we should. I don't think of course you should be happy to see others happy, but it's a man's nature to sacrifice and try to do what he can to help the group and be useful. Over time, that's developed to where men look to add something to the world in some kind of way that's meaningful, right? But like I always say, black men have this thing where you don't realize you think like property. Like, so for example, right? Of course, men are success objects and it's important to be successful. But I thought about in my last relationship and even before that, what I thought basically was going to make me worthy of love. Or at what price point, at what income can I afford love? That's still kind of how I look at it, right? And to the point where this person wasn't even asking me about anything monetary wise. And then when my money changed, I had this intense insecurity about not being able to call the shots and not having the same position in a relationship. And don't get me wrong, finances are important and you should always be working on your finances because that's a part of survival. That's why we do all this shit. You understand? But the entire relationship, your self-esteem, your sense of self-worth cannot hinge entirely on your income because things change. But again, it's the man that make the clothes, it's the man that make the money. If you got it before, you can get it again. If I got it before, I can get it again. Pivot again. So let's go ahead and start with Nick Cannon. So this is Dr. Lane Bryant, I believe. So look, we go ahead and start with Nick, and we'll work our way down to a few other subjects, right? So I want to just play this clip right here, and I think that it's very interesting. And what's going on is that Nick is expressing himself. You know what else she's doing? What this woman does in these interviews is the man says what he thinks and he says how he feels. Then rather than exploring what he's saying, the next logical question would be, well, why do you say that? And why do you feel that way? And have a conversation. it's the intention and what your mission is. Her mission in these interviews is not to have a conversation. First of all, it is almost kind of evil. Let me get back on screen. It's almost kind of evil to have a conversation with the intention of changing who someone is. Because you're basically saying that I can decide what will make you a good person. I have to benefit from you. And this is, again, women carry out this mission, yo, in terms of understanding its strength in numbers, understanding that we speak more, communicate more. So if you want to spread our idea, women can easily do that. And for the most part, women know how to kind of get on code and know when to copy each other. Men don't do that. And that's how relationships have gotten to where men are not interested in relationships anymore or pursuing them. Mostly because, again, men are starting to realize, you know what, I'm not really getting a good return on my investment. I don't feel satisfied in a relationship. I don't feel respected. You know what I mean? And again, because in Western culture, it's kind of a pastime. It's kind of a thing to do. It's like to kind of downplay the man's position, his intelligence, downplay him in general. Like on TV shows and movies, it's always the shit to make the main male character seem like an idiot, or always seem as though he's not as smart as this woman right here. Anywho, anyway, so Nick is expressing himself, and what Shorty does is basically say, no, let me tell you how to think.
Right. And but not all men do that. We don't want to blanket all men. And all men do not prey and manipulate. Not all men.
First of all humans prey and manipulate, but in a man in a relationship,
so this woman just said that not all humans prey and manipulate. One of the reasons why women don't always have the strongest leadership when it comes to things that matter is because it's the willpower. It takes willpower to be honest. It's hard dealing with the realities of the world, which is why it's best to leave it to the men. All right. Not only are men, the toughness doesn't stop at the physical, right? It's also here. Men can tolerate more stress than women can, which also helps with, I'm talking about tolerating stress without breaking and trying to punish people because you're having a bad day. You're not a leader because you're a leader in name. It's also about how you treat people. All right, and what you give to them. A lot of times, people will feel like if I'm having a bad day, you're going to have a bad day too. Are you that kind of person? If you're that kind of person, you can't be a good leader. But what I'm saying is the reason why she has to stop him is because it makes her uncomfortable. All right. And also, he didn't say anything wrong. Now, men can deal with that because the world is not, again, men have civilized the world to where the women don't even have to really deal with what things actually are, to the point where it's just normal that if you're a modern man and woman to just go against your nature, go against what actually works, and keep knocking, keep crossing boundaries, keep knocking down walls, even the ones that's supposed to keep you warm. I have to bring that metaphor home. But anywho, and you know, Angry Man made this point too. I don't even think that when Nick said man, I think he meant humanity. Right. And I know he said I'm a man, but I think what he's also speaking to is that, first of all, he's speaking to, let me scratch that. When Nick says I'm a man, what he's speaking to is what it takes to be in the position that he's in. You can look at him in any kind of way you want to look at that man, but at the end of the day, this man has been famous and has been getting money since I was like in 10th grade. Okay. I'm about to be 37 in like 6 weeks. You understand? So to get to this point, where he is where he is, then the fact that you're in the news for, don't get me wrong, it is reckless, but impregnating all these women and having these kids all over the place. And I ain't gonna lie, his reason for having these kids sound like some shit that he came up with, like when he was on Funny Gas. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a bad toothache. They did some surgery on the bull, give him some anesthesia, and he just thought, yo, I need to basically have these kids sperm donor style. You know what I'm saying? I need to go ahead and just spread my seed. Like he on some like Book of Mormon shit. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just, it sound biblical. Let me tell you something. When people got money, it's not as obvious that they crazy. Maybe they can and crazy. He was wearing a turban for a minute. For some years, I think. How long was Nick wearing a turban? He was wearing a turban. Now he up here with these braids. And not just like formal wear. I think he's wearing a vest as well.
And a praying
If
way.
I see that I can say, okay, I feel like I need this and this person has this, I'm gonna do and say whatever I need to do to get that.
But Nick.
So therefore, I have dealt with some people that balance me and are equally yoked. And at times, have I been manipulative and prey on certain things? Yes, because I'm a man.
Right.
And
also too, like, all right, let me tell you something real quick. Look at how she's listening. Matter of fact, let's bring it back one more time. I want you to look at how she's interacting with him and listening to him, and how it's not listening.
But not all men do that. We don't want to blanket all
men. And
all
I was
men do not pray and manipulate. Not all men.
So therefore, I have dealt with some people that balance me and are equally yoked. And at times, have I been manipulative and prey on certain things? Yes, because I'm a man.
Right.
And
but not all men do that.
See, that right there. She doesn't understand men at all. She also, she's another woman who's bought all the way into all those feminist myths. And a part of it is you think you're in a movie where you've been written in to be the superior, the one that's more intelligent, the one that's a better planner. Like this guy's just Monkey D. Luffy. If you watch One Piece, you know what I'm talking about. He's Monkey D. Luffy, and you're Nami. Where even though he's the captain and he's in charge and he's the most powerful, he still listens to Nami, and everyone kind of concedes to Nami like she's the leader. But it's kind of based off this thing that we see in media and movies where, and again, this is something that men do in general. Men, we do stuff and say stuff just to make the women feel good. Men enjoy making women feel good and making them feel warm and happy and seeing women smile. That's a thing that men enjoy. So men will do things to make women feel good, right? But it's gotten to a point where you're mistaken our want to our desire to make you feel good to really think that you can come tell this man what he thinks and how things are, and not all men are manipulative. And I'm like, the man didn't say that I'm a manipulative person. He said, yes, at times I've been manipulative. And what he's trying to communicate is that I'm a go-getter. If I have a goal, I'm trying to problem solve on how can I accomplish that. In the real world, to get to a certain level, you gotta be willing to make some moves. You're gonna have to be willing to be ruthless. Now, I'm not saying to do anything evil, right? But she's demonstrating that you're not having this conversation as a worldly person who can consider the world as a whole, or in terms of how the world really is when having these conversations. Her intention on these conversations is like I heard Angry Man saying. What we're seeing is more and more media being put out there of black women attempted to reprogram black men, because black men are starting to take on the mind of their own, and black men are all becoming Neo in the Matrix. We're all becoming out of control. But it's all for the better, because more men are understanding what it means if you're going to be a daddy, what it means if you're going to be a husband, what you're giving and what you're risking, and not just allowing yourself to get pulled into some shit. But let me go ahead and let some more of this play. Fair use.
That we don't want to blanket all men.
And
all men do not pray and manipulate. Not all men.
First of all humans pray and manipulate, but in a man in a relationship,
praying way, not in a praying way.
Not in a praying way. First of all, like fam, like what do you call someone taking a rubber and then using the contents to inseminate themselves? What do you call Brittany Renner sitting at that boy's practices watching him, and then somehow a few years later she has his baby? What is a gold digger? What are you talking about? All people do is prey on men. If you live in the hood, right, it's almost a guarantee that either you've been jumped before or you've been robbed before, or at least someone's tried to rob you. Or I mean, it's very rare. If you are on foot, if you're a black boy, you can kind of at some point someone has tried to hurt you. All right. Not to mention the way that people find it. What people think is acceptable in terms of how you communicate with a male to begin with. When you're a black man, everyone undermines you in your masculinity, your intelligence, and your decision making, and you as a human being. It's crazy that white girl who basically got passed around the whole police station was in Compton. And you got YG and all these hood niggas just on her body because of what she's famous for. And it's like, yo, Angry Man made this interesting point about like, yo, but a black man can't walk around, couldn't come around y'all and feel that comfortable. Anywho.
If I see that I can say, okay, I feel like I need this and this person has this, I'm going to do and say whatever I need to do to get that.
But Nick.
So therefore, I have dealt with some people that balance me and are equally yoked. And at times, have I been manipulative and prey on certain things? Yes, because I'm a man.
Right. And but not all men do that. We don't want to blanket all men. With all due respect, seriously, to all the women that you've encountered. Ladies, I'm saying this. The reason why it's worked for you is because you have chosen and to prey on low functioning women who don't have the emotional intelligence. No, I'm going there. Who will allow you to.
Whenever a woman starts reaching and making bodily contact like that, when that means she's trying to drive it home. She's trying to make you. This whole conversation is about her trying to make him think the way that she thinks he should think. That he's a free person. He's a free man on the land. You cannot tell free men what to do. First of all, well, you know what? Let's touch on why this is going on. This is going on because women realize that it's starting to come out that a lot of stuff you asking for, you don't really need. Yo, when you're a man, you are so much like a manager and an employer in terms of your relationship, like with your women. That's how you gotta look at it. All right, good employees gonna come and go. If I have a good employee, right, it doesn't matter how good they are. If that employee starts coming to work an hour and a half late, 3 times a week, starts like threatening me and the customers and coming to work smelling like weed, would it matter what their performance was before? No, it wouldn't matter because these are all things that are non-negotiable, so they have to go, right? But what I'm getting to with the employee angle is that anyone who's ever had a job that had perks, you know what I mean? Like, just basically things you kind of got away with, or certain luxuries that you got to afford. You know what I'm saying? And what I had to learn was that whenever you getting off on something at work, just enjoy it while it lasts, because things always change. Okay, and you cannot mourn past luxuries and things that happened in the past that felt good. It's going to hold you down. You're not going to move forward. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to depress you and make you angry. Gotta move forward. But employers have to always kind of think about and understand if what the employees actually need and what they need to be putting energy and time and money into, and assessing that properly, right? What men are starting to see is that y'all don't need a man with a lot of money. You don't necessarily need a man who's actually a good man. You don't need a man who even has freedom, i.e. love at the lockup. You actually don't really need monogamy because for the most part, y'all all want the same man. And a lot of times, depending on his value, y'all will share the same man. Depending on his genetics, all right, social economic status, y'all will share the same man. And with the way the economy's going, it's looking like it's going in that direction. More and more women are going to start being open to the idea of, y'all team up and get a man and share that man. I've seen this shit on dating sites where it's two women saying, "Hey, we're a package deal. We're coming together. Like, so we're coming on a date together, and we are going to be together. We are a throuple. Okay, we're a group. Okay." Which, listen, frankly, if y'all on the same page spiritually, I ain't mad about it. Because my thing about that shit is that there's so much potential and stuff like that. Because, like, yo, that's three incomes. Okay, there's always coverage for the babies. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, y'all ain't never gonna be homeless. So we're going to play the rest of Nick Cannon's, y'all. So it's gonna be a part one, y'all, because it's getting a little bit late, man. My computer about to die. I'm gonna let it play a little more.
To do that, Nick. And when I say allow, it's not a control thing. When I say allow, I'm not saying that she sits across you and says, "This is what you won't do. You're crossing a boundary." Nick,
I disagree.
With all due respect, seriously, to all the women that you've encountered, ladies, I'm saying this. The reason why it's worked for you is because you have chosen and to prey on low functioning women who don't have the emotional intelligence. No, I'm going there.
So what she's saying is that, and another reason why these interviews are happening and these sit downs are happening and this is being put out, this is because, again, women do this thing where, well, I'm sorry. When you understand that black men think like property, and for the most part, our relationships kind of operate like, like property and a property owner, right? The reason why these women have problems with a Nick Cannon situation, because in her mind she's thinking like, well, I'm this kind of owner. It's the same as like, I have a dog, right? And when I come outside with my dog, I have my pooper scooper. I'm picking up poop like it's nothing, tying the bag like it's nothing, not missing the beat. I'm in your hood, walking my dog, right? And so I'm conscientious, right? If I know my dog got a little jump, I see about to jump at you, I pull the leash, right? So to her, when niggas like Nick Cannon is running around, to her it's like seeing an owner with their dog and they don't have a leash in their dog. It's like, and not only that dog is taking a big old poop. After that poop is done, they both leave. But that don't sound good at all. I heard a big old thump. But that's basically what it is. And when you hear her saying this shit, and also it goes crazy as her angle. It's crazy how women will diss women that they do not know. She don't know nothing about these women. She don't know their name. She doesn't know their background. None of that shit. She doesn't know what their ambitions are, what they want romantically. Because the thing is, women have to know that not all women are meant to be married. It's because they have kids. Not all women make good wives. Some women do not like being the main girl. It's obviously a thing, But let me go ahead and share some more of this right here. But I just thought it was crazy how dirty she talked about people that you do not know and called them low functioning, and then said you preyed on them. How do you prey on someone that you're in a relationship with? Like, there's no trial. It's one thing if he was on trial for the shit. You know what I mean? Because you're like that shit. She make that shit sound like he basically got away. He got away with murder. Like, she acting like she on the couch with Ted Bundy. All right. But anywho,
who will allow you to do that, Nick. And when I say allow, it's not a control thing. When I say allow, I'm not saying that she sits across you and says, this is what you won't do. You're crossing a boundary. Nick.
I disagree. I don't know if it's the Libra in me, if it's my abandonment issues as a child. I'm quick to be like, we agree to disagree, so I'm out. I'll run, I'll detach, I'll act like, I'll shut down, I'll internalize. And I know that's not healthy, but just as a man, to stay away from conflict with any woman in my life, I'll just be like, we agree to disagree. Yeah. You can have that. I don't know if it's the Libra in me.
So let me go ahead and translate that, because there's a whole lot that he's not saying in this clip. What he's saying is, and what he's done, and she gonna have a problem with this. Well, modern women have a problem with this in general, because what modern women has sought to do is kind of for one, establish the idea that they are taking on so much and so much bullshit, and they're taking so much shit, and it's such an inconvenience to be with. And everything that they do for you is something they don't have to do. There's like none of it is duty. So it's what I always talk about, where when a person attacks you, they put you in a position of submissiveness, where they determine when you're a good person and when you're not a good person. And in terms of what he's talking about, right? What he's saying is that, well, for one, I guess I'm sorry. She has a problem with what he's saying because it's going to end that dynamic of the man trying to hear the woman out in terms of when she says there's a problem and really trying to solve the problem. What he's done is he realizes the value of his time and that you don't get time back. And a smart man knows when to cut his losses. He knows when to cut his losses. He knows when, I'm not going to win. That he's talking about, again, unmanageable women. Don't get me wrong. At some point as men, you do have to start choosing better and start trying to figure out, why do I keep running into the same kind of woman and what needs to change about me. Right? But he's speaking to doing what's best for everyone, which is, that's another caveat I'll add to when it's okay to separate as a family, if I just cannot get along no matter what. But the reality is this, though, about relationships. You have to be with a woman who chooses to be happy every day and chooses to be optimistic and understand the importance of being optimistic and being positive. So the thing, and I see it every day with people's negativity. So much negativity. I was telling my man the other day, I said, yo, all this negativity is causing a fight or flight feeling in my body. But guess what? I'm not fighting. I'm fighting. I'm gonna keep fighting for you. Love y'all. Oh, my bad, y'all. Did I tell y'all to like, share, and subscribe? Please like, share, and subscribe, man. Love y'all. Thank you. I'll give you a second to do that. Go ahead. Some more water. So, all right, man. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up in a moment, man. We'll do the other 4 horsemen probably tomorrow.
If it's my abandonment issues as a child, I'm quick to be like, we agree to disagree, so I'm out. I'll run.
All right, so we at the half-hour mark. That's enough content. Like I've been telling y'all, you really don't deserve me, but I'm here anyway. Nah, I'm joking, man. Love y'all, man. If you made this far in the video, man, I really appreciate it. Shout out to everyone in the comments. Shout out to everyone that's interacting with me, man. I appreciate y'all. Here we are. Yo, I got a channel going, son. I'm a YouTuber. I'm on YouTube. Mom, I'm on YouTube. Hey. But now, real talk, man. Listen, man. Y'all have a wonderful week. Keep being victorious. Be productive. You get your most toughest task. The shit you be putting on. Get that shit done first thing in the morning. All right, get your mornings going right. Get your little morning prayer in. a good cup of coffee, have you a good walk in the morning. Just go ahead and step into your day right, man. I care about y'all. Hope y'all be good, be safe, man. Love y'all. Peace.